Right now we
is,
have
of
Grow
course,
Your
a
Business,
feature
and
of
it's
the
a
Jamaica
feature
Business
that is
Development
sponsored
Corporation.
by the
They're
Jamaica Business
one
Development
entity that
Corporation.
has
Oh, by
its
the way,
finger
they are
on the
also
pulse
represented here
of
at the Ministry of Labor
the things
and
which are
Social Security
important to
Roadshow
the
here at
MSME, that's
the Gulfview
medium, micro,
Hotel.
small,
small,
micro, small, and medium
medium-sized
enterprises.
enterprises. They
So
are
right now, though, we are talking about the
engines
JBDC
of our
hosting
growth and of our
Jadire
democracy.
Batik
Believe it or not, the
painting
engines,
workshop
small business.
on a creative
I have here,
Saturdays.
Robert Hall,
I have,
and he's a
with
fashion
me
designer
Robert Hall
at the
he's a fashion
JBDC,
designer,
and also Charmaine Brown, and she is a fashion designer, and she's the owner
yes, I have
of Jessica
That's who I have with
Fashion.
me
So
this
we're talking
morning.
about the
Good morning,
JBDC
Robert,
Hunts
how are
North
you?
Coast
Hi,
Jadire
Dr.
Fashion.
How are you doing?
Mostly good,
Beyond.
mostly good.
And
So, Robert,
so
you
good day, how are you?
a fashion designer, but you,
Good morning,
you
good morning,
also
Dr. Taylor.
work with the
Good to be on.
JBDC or you work for the
Yes.
JBDC?
Morning,
Talk to
Dr.
me.
Taylor. Good to be on.
Yeah, you all right?
Yes, I'm
So
okay.
that's actually my JBDC
All right.
job,
So,
guys. It doesn't really
Robert.
do what I do. What I really do is
sir.
that I help clients with their
Yeah.
product as a part of
Um,
this business development process.
Okay.
So you're a
got it.
fashion designer, but you're a full-time
Right.
employee, of
I'm
course,
trying
of the
to focus on
JBDC.
the
That's your
other
remit,
areas
right?
of
Talk to me about what you do.
Oh,
I know
all
it's
right.
Let me
great.
better contextualize that because
So,
I'm not
talk
too
to us
sure
about
that
this,
the
workshop,
title probably
Creative
gives it a
Saturdays.
sense of what we really
Absolutely.
All right,
fashion
please.
design, of course, right. Fashion design is one of my core skills. However, really and truly, this is in the context of product development that we offer
Okay.
which is right for persons who are actually in the small micro medium industry. If you're familiar with JBDC, we actually have two locations in terms of in the Kingston area, the Kingston corporate area, basically, where we actually have our corporate offerings on campus, and then we actually have our technical division, the IRC incubator and market service, most times where that's really almost like actually action space where we can literally do a lot of hands-on work with the client to really actually learn what's actually developed. So all the time these days is saying that more of my specialization is in fashion, but I do fashion go across the board with refresh your collection.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, so you're putting the thing into context now. I get it.
Okay.
All right.
This
So
workshop is
you have
the
this
22nd.
interesting
When is that?
initiative.
No,
so tell us more
November
about that
1.
now, and
Yes.
how
Absolutely.
Miss Brown now has been reached in all of this, and where does she stand?
So they're on precisely. So of course, we one of the core foundations
How do
that
we get
stand on in
access?
terms of
Who
JBDC
is selected?
that we
How many
literally
people you're
believe that,
having and all
the
of
raw
that?
material that we
So-
have as a piece.
So I'm seeing the yes, I'm seeing the thing.
thing that we
Creative
naturally
Saturdays and
move
the
towards
textile
and also
edition,
towards natural
Jadire,
creativity are the
right? Or
spaces that we
Jadire,
ought to be
yeah?
looking at
Is
in
it
terms
Jadire
of
or
really
Jadire?
enlivening the economy and have a person basically
Yeah, okay.
building businesses around these things. Of course, business
Okay.
development is
All
the
right.
core mandate of what we do. But obviously, you don't just want to be
All
doing
right.
it in a
Jadire.
vacuum, just chasing after
So,
an arbitrary
it's
opportunity. So we know
two
creativity
sessions.
is something that we
Yes,
actually do.
right.
Fashion,
Yes.
textiles, craft is definitely an area that we traditionally actually have some kind of footprint in that we're known for. And that's something with the from the JBDC in O1. That's something that we have actually been working. So as a part of that, we often have as a part of just all the way up, in terms of or bilateral relationships with different countries, we often basically have a receipt of skills person that come in. We've done work with the Japanese persons,
I
Japanese
hear you talking about color.
Embassy that
But,
brought us, banana paper
brethren,
in the early days.
I don't wear
And with
color,
the
but I do
Nigerian
know
High
that
Commission,
Batik
yes,
techniques
we basically
can
have
be
got
used to
now
produce
at the
some
infusion,
marvelous things
of Jadire
with black
what you
and
know
white.
Jadire, but initially it was Jadire. Basically, we are
Yes.
printing fabric in from their historical context, etc. So that infusion we actually started in 2017, and out of that we've been able to be trained over 200 people.
Gotcha.
Over
right, so
5 different community
it's
groups and
open
different individuals
to the
from
public.
different
How do you
sectors
do?
have
How are
actually
you
been from.
selected?
So Miss Brown is
because I
actually
figure you may
one
have
of
a
the
big
persons
rush
who
on it and you
was
have
a
some
part of a
capacity
training
issues.
cohort, and out of that situation, basically been able to energize her business and really be able to bring new, fresh, more Jamaican, products with more of that Jamaican spot. If you want to actually jump in,
I like
send an email
the
to
syncretic
our
Jadire, by the way, because
and then we just
you know,
into the registration process.
they-
It's just pretty
I make no apologies at all for the fact that we are still African. Yes, we have been infused, etc. But guess what? It's a dialectic. So we are Africans. We came here, but we in the same way we give them back Afrobeat, we give them back reggae, we give them back Rasta, we give them back all of that. So yeah, so we take the Batik, but we also had that. I said this on an earlier program that we also had our own, some of our own traditions that we developed here in Batik, and there were some experts over the years. So it makes sense that we have this thing that is both Nigerian and local.
All right.
So Charmaine, talk to me.
Can you do this thing yourself, Richard?
How did you know about this? How did you get contacted, or how did you make first contact?
It's our in-house production.
Okay, sir. Well, I know about it. JBDC always have training, so we'll normally get an email.
Slightly related to this, not directly. Last night I was in my first year sociology class, and I was teaching them about African retention. And that the wonderful thing about us is that, yes, there's a lot of evidence about African retention. But there's also evidence about us being a Creole society, a plantation society. So we got things which are here. So we're not just diaspora Africans. We are Jamaicans. We took the African and we did something else with it, along with some other little things. So,
for instance, having a piece of
in the same way that, like for me now, you know, my kente cloth is my Jamaican madras cloth, you know. Yeah. So my African type design, if I'm going to mix anything here, I'm not necessarily going to put any.
So a quick question. So did you have any of these skills before? Did you know about it, or you just liked the idea and you decided
so the Jadire
that you want to start something new?
But the concept is that there is a strong West African tradition where they use the African dyes that they developed over there along with the beeswax and stuff like that. No, we use other kinds of wax, maybe the same beeswax, but maybe more refined, more commercial. But we also have a Batik tradition that is pretty robust. I learned Batik in high school. And that's probably before you were born. Right?
All right. So what's the kind of assistance that you got?
No, man, seriously. No, I learned Batik from high school in the 70s. And then I know that we had some people, Don Scott of blessed memory, right? And some others, Sharon Shako, I don't think she does much of that anymore. I remember some of those who used to do that. So you have you have, let's call it the indigenous or the locally developed ones. So what we're having now is that through people like you, we are melding the African to the Jamaican.
We do a process where we have to use the waxing process.
It's like a re-infusion, a
so
reconnection.
Have the wax, like, for instance, we have a pot.
As you said, we are different.
And we put some wax in it to be melted, and when it reaches to a certain heat, we then keep that sponge in the hot wax.
We got reconnected to this,
and then we move it to the fabric, and then whatever design we put on that sponge, it would have fills out on the fabric.
Okay, so the sponge don't melt in the hot wax?
No, you're not supposed to do it hot enough that the sponge to melt.
Okay. And then, and then you print it.
Hold on.
That's interesting.
The etymology of the word Jadire. So then we know the Jamaican.
Then you add that fabric in whatever color you want.
Yes.
And after you do that, then we go back and we do a whiling out process in which we have to use get a big pot and we put it on the fire. We do a whiling process in which we boil some water. We put that fabric that we have done in that water and let it boil for a while to get out the wax
within your
which we then put it back in cold water, but that's what comes up the material, and then the print would have remained and the material, but you take back out the water.
Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, okay, I get that. All right, so you had to spend money in order to get this training, or what?
Yes. We made spend money, but it was
no, man. I mean, okay. Yeah, man. Go ahead.
It's like a
so anyway,
I think we spend like $5,000 and we get at that time we get the material to work with there, and then after that you convert off and
yes. I'm actually really looking
going back to you now, Robert, because you have an overall responsibility for this. So
I suspect that, no, I might not.
This is a one-person experience, but I know it applies to everybody else. How can somebody like me, because I'm interested in those kinds of things, how can somebody like me get into that?
A practicing batik artist or fashion designer or anything of the sort?
Usually what will happen is that you get into our network, whether you're, whether you come to us for services or if you also just access our social media are our most updated places where you can really no artistic training. So usually what will happen is that when we actually have new initiatives or we have new training, etc., what will happen is that we're going to actually spread the word on our social media or basically direct
tuition, right?
And of course, usually you actually
it's a feed that you're going to use to feed chimpanzees and macacans and
then if we have
spider monkeys, because the monkey money, because I don't know anywhere where a registration fee of 7,500
time leaving
material and you get lunch.
Yes, time leaving me quickly. How am I finding JBDC? Yes,
you can find us on the social media.
So that $3,000 sitting, 3,007 something for
.net along with our website.
You better at the math. You better at that. Okay. So what you're saying is that there are a number of things that you're going to learn. So you can learn how to do the fabric design.
Bless you. Thank you so much, Robert Hall from JBDC and Charmaine Brown, who's a designer and owner of Jessica Fashion. We just did grow your business. Messages for you now.
I was over by the same people who I big up a while ago, right? Earl Mason and him crew, and him have the cutting table, and they put the things out, and you have the measuring thing, and you cut. You have then of course the dyeing part of it, then the de-waxing and finishing. Yeah. Yes. Now, then, for those of us who may have an interest in not just the aesthetics and the craft part of it, but to make a money from it, because some people want to make some money from it, you are going to demonstrate how to do those things and make them.
Definitely.
All right. So,
let's talk you through that.
Yeah.
Just really showing you how some other people have actually do it, and also just remind you of some of the options, because of course we know Christmas coming, etc. And you might want to refresh your interiors, etc. Or you might evolve some products specifically from that as well, which of course is really then. So yes, definitely going to be talking to that.
All right. Well, I want to thank you. So for anyone who wants further information from the about the JBDC, because you have a range of services that you offer, the numbers to contact the JBDC are?
You can contact us at 928-516-125. And this particular division, that's the one that I am at, that basically is the much more hands-on one. That one is 758-396628.
All right, got you. And information is available on your site. Do you have a link to this course, this workshop on the site?
If you not on the site, but if you go to our social media handles, that's on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you'd actually see the post on it. And just to remind you as well, if you want information about the workshop itself, then you contact me, and I am rhall@jbdc.net.
Got you. Want to thank you, Robert Hall.
Yeah.
Richard Hall is my brethren, and one of my mentors at of blessed memory too at the Ministry of Labor. So, Robert Hall, thank you so much for speaking with us. Thank you for this Jadire workshop that I am very excited about. We have produced some beautiful designs that, believe it or not, sometimes make the Africans envious. One love, walk good, but don't walk too far.
All right.
Bless you.
Thank
All
you
right.
much.
So we just did Grow Your Business. It's a weekly feature that we have here on the hotline, sponsored and presented by the Jamaica Business Development.